Welcome. We are going today to make a granny square in a sunflower style. So I have mine's a mocha yarn for the brown for the inside. Got a beautiful bright yellow, and then I need a cream yarn, and I've ended up with a double knit, so I'm going to have to double up on that, but not to worry, that's for me to work out. So we're going to start off with the mocha, and we're going to learn how to do a puff stitch as part of this. So to begin with, I'll just move you up a little bit. Hopefully that's a little bit better. So to begin with, you want to make a magic circle. If you struggle with a magic circle, then you're going to chain 3, but ideally do a magic circle. So that's my magic circle, and I'm going to chain for 2, bearing in mind that that's my first chain, so that's my second, and I'm going to do a puff stitch. So in order to do this puff stitch, I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to go into the magic circle and draw the yarn through, almost as if I was going to do a double crochet or a half double crochet, and I'm going to pull it up so that I get some height to it. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing again, so yarn over and through and pull it up so I get some height, and I'm going to do it a third time. Okay, and I should have 7 loops on my hook, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 7. Okay, and I'm going to follow that with a chain 2, and that creates our first puff stitch. Now we're going to move on, she says, and we're going to do that till we've got 8. So a puff stitch followed by chain 2. So that's our first one. So again, pull the stitch up so you've got some length. Yarn over, grab the yarn, pull up, yarn over, round, grab the yarn, pull up, 7 on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 7, and then chain 2. So that gives us 2 puff stitches. And we're going to continue doing that until we have 8. Chain 2, so I should have 8 now. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to cinch that closed. Oh, it's caught itself around that. That's it. And then I am going to slip stitch into the top of the puff stitch, which is there. So that is one of the chains. So it's going into there. That's going to be the centre of our sunflower. Now, the pattern that I'm using asks you to continue with puff stitches around, but I'm actually just going to use a small centre for the sunflower. So I am going to do my second and third round as my second and third round is going to be in the yellow. Okay, so I'm going to trim that off. So that's the puff stitch that I've done there, and I'm now going to go into a space and join with the yellow, and what I'm going to do is for the leaves, instead of doing a puff stitch, which if you liked it you could do, I'm going to double crochet 4 together. Now let me show you how you do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 2. This is a starting chain, not part of the stitch. And then in this space I'm going to do 2 clusters of 4 double crochet together to make the petals, with 2 chains in between each one. So I'm going to start as if I'm doing a double crochet, and I'm going to do the first bit of the double crochet, so yarn over and pull through 2. But then instead of finishing off by yarning over and pulling through the last, I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go back in as if I'm going to start a fresh one, and then yarn over through 2. That'll then leave me 3 on the hook. So I've got 1, 2 crochet, double crochets, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2. That's my 3rd starting double crochet, and I'm now going to do my 4th one. So yarn over, pull through 2, and I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the hook. When we look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 what would have been double crochets, and then the chain 2. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all of that, and then I'm chaining 2. Okay, and that gives this sort of petal shape. And now I'm going to do another one of those in the same space. So yarn over as if I'm about to do a double crochet. So you yarn over and pull through 2. So I've got 2 on my hook, but instead of finishing that double crochet off, I'm going to start a fresh one. So yarn over and pull the yarn through, and then yarn over through 2. That's my 2nd part double crochet. So I'm yarning over, bringing the yarn through, yarn over through 2. So that's my 3rd one, and then the next one takes us to the 4th one. So I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the hook, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through all of those, and I'm chaining 2 again. And I'm going to do that in each space, so I will end up with 16 of these double crochet 4 together clusters. So I will continue. You rewind if you need to just have those instructions again, or if not, just carry on and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so we're going to slip stitch into the top of the double crochet cluster there. Okay, so a bit wibbly, but it will straighten itself out soon. That's what you're aiming for. So we should have 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so we will move on to the next round. And we are going to complete the same clusters into the chain spaces, and then chain 2, so there's no increase, so it's the same number, but this time it's just 1 in each one. Okay, so let's get started as we were doing. So we're going to do right, so before we do it, we're needing to do it in these spaces, so we're going to slip stitch into the next chain and then chain 2, and then we'll do the double crochet cluster in there. So I'm going to do it in just the same way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, finish it off, chain 2, and go into the next space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then finish it off and chain 2. You're going to continue that all the way around. Okay, so you carry on and I will meet you at the end. Now back to the last one, and we're going to slip stitch into, again, the top of the cluster, and we will now move on to using the cream or the white, I suppose, if you've got white, so we're going to start to make that square now. So now we have a circle, and we are going to make this into a square. So we're going to have, again, we're going to have at least one new stitch, or one that we haven't used in a project before, more than anything. So any of these chain 2s, you're going to add your next colour. So I'm using a cream, it's a bit thinner, so I've just put 2 strands together of it. But we are going to start with chaining first of all. So this is going to be our first corner, so it doesn't matter that it's here, but we're going to do 1, 2, 3. This is going to start as our first stitch, which is going to be classed as a treble crochet. So treble crochet, like a double, but with an extra bit to it. So you do a double crochet, you wrap around once, a treble, we wrap around twice. So I'm going to do 2 more in here. So I'm saying 2 more, 2 treble crochets. So let me just start that again. So we're wrapping round twice. We're going into the chain space and we're grabbing the yarn and pulling it through. And then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on the hook. So obviously remember mine are double. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that gives us our treble. Okay, and we're going to do that again. Okay, and then we are going to chain 3, because this will be our corner. I might be tempted when I've done this to say I'd only do 2, but we're going to do the 3, and then we're going to do a treble again. So wrap around twice, through, bring your yarn through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. We're going to do that 3 times, because if you remember, the chain 3 was the first one. Now remember, we're trying to make this square now, so that's our corner. So we're now going to do 3 double crochets. So this is just a standard granny cluster in the next chain 2 space, and there is no chains between these. 1, 2, 3. And then what we're going to do is we are going to, sorry, let me just cut that off. I'll move the yellow out of the way. I just want the cream. So we've done 3 double crochets. We're now going to go into this one and we're going to do 3 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets again. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to grab some yarn. And then we're going to go and we're going to do the next corner here. So this is going to be 3 trebles with a chain 3 and then another 3 trebles as our corner section. So I'll wrap round twice and do a treble and 2 more for our first cluster. And then a chain 3. And then again wrap round twice for a cluster of 3 trebles. So 1, 2, 3, and then the next space is 3 double crochets. 1, 2, so it keeps getting a bit tangled, and 3, followed by 3 half doubles. So 1, 2, 3, and then again we're going to be making 3 doubles, and then I'll show you what it is that you're looking to achieve. One, 2, 3. Now, hopefully you can see now by looking at this. So we're squaring this off now. So these are bigger, longer stitches, and this is what's going to help us to make a square. And then we're getting progressively smaller into the middle where we've got the circle coming out, and then we're going bigger again. And this will then give us the square that we need in order to be able to continue. Now, so I'm now doing trebles again. So I'm back to do my corner. So 3 trebles. One, 2, 3 chains, and then another 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3. Second treble. Some more yarn. Forget how much yarn can be used, don't you, sometimes? So, third one. So no chains, and we do 3 double crochets, so standard granny cluster. And then 3 half double crochets. And another 3 double crochets for the standard. and then we're going back into doing a corner. So again, I'm just going to tie that off. So again, 3 trebles for the corner. Three chains, 3 trebles, and then some more yarn, and then we're going to do the standard double crochet cluster, three half double crochets, three double crochets, and then we're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. So that's our chain 3. Okay, and then we'll have a look at that now. So there we go, that's given us a square. My square is going to be slightly out because my double layer of cream is ever so slightly thicker than my browns and yellow. However, that gives you the idea. Then what you would do is you would do another, well, you could decide that that was the end of your granny square, or you might want to do another round, in which case you would carry on as you would do normally, in which case you would go in and do your corners in the corners and your clusters in each space between. So I'll do a round like that so you can see what that's going to look like. I think, oh, come out there. I think most of you, well, I'm hoping that you've seen the granny square one from before, but if you haven't, then let this be a bit of a lesson. But there is a granny square lesson. So we're going to go across to the next corner by slip stitching across. Okay. And then in this corner, we're going to chain 3 as our first double crochet in this instance. We are going to double crochet 2, and we will chain, I would chain 1, but we'll chain 2 because of this pattern, and then a 3 again, 2, 3, and then each space between the clusters as you go along is your standard granny cluster of 3 double crochets. Okay, and then we come to the corner and we do a corner set, so 2 clusters with 2 chains in between. Oh, my yarn. Yarn bar. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's the second start, and then what I'll do is I'll work all the way around and I'll come back at the end. my last cluster is then going to get joined into the top of the chain 3. I'm just going to cut that off. Okay, and then that is, that's made a difference. That's slightly bigger, isn't it, on that side? I wonder why that is. Looks, maybe it's just the angle of the, actually it might just be the angle of the camera when I'm looking at it on the, when I'm looking at it, it looks right size. Anyway, so there we have a sunflower granny square. So we've made a circle for the sunflower, and then we have squared off using different size stitches on the edges as we've gone around. So I think that's lovely, and I think you can, obviously you can do that. I've done it as a sunflower in the brown and the gold, or well, yellow, but you could do that in any colourway, couldn't you, and have a lovely flower motif in the middle. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, happy hooking.